Well, my goodness. How do we feel about today's presenters? Let's give them a round of applause. And let's give a big round of applause to all of the presenters this weekend. And most importantly, give yourselves a round of applause. Take a look at the screen. Yes, it was quick, wasn't it? So we'll be posting this, oh my goodness, right? Here we go. Well, again, thank you to everybody. Thank you for being here. And not only I thanked all of the participants, but I also want to thank the people who came for support. There are a lot of you who came with your support person, your person, and I just want to give a big round of applause to all of your people. It takes a village, right? Absolutely. So just to do a little recap, we ended up having 55% of our attendees were here in person, and our virtual attendees, we had 157. And last count, I looked just a moment ago, and I think there were 97 people on our last live stream. So fantastic. And people are all asking, how long do you have access for Whova? We have access to Whova for 3 months. So you have 3 months of replays of the video, of all of the conference materials. You have 3 months of interacting with each other. And yes, thank you. You guys are a very active bunch. I made this slide a few hours ago, and we had 4,300 messages. I just looked just a minute ago, and we're over 5,000. So we are a very active bunch on Whova. But most importantly, everybody's been asking, we made an announcement late last night, but most of yesterday's presentations are already available for replay. So to get there, you just go back to the agenda, you click on the session. So here's the keynote address. You just clicked on that session, and when you click on it, you get the big red button to hit play. Yay! And that, actually, I hope that leads me to my next, that would have actually been my better next slide, so I'll come back to that in just a moment. So also want to thank all of the volunteers. If you volunteered this past weekend, please give yourselves a big round of applause and raise your hand. We had a great group of volunteers to help us behind the scenes and get the bags ready and hand out the name bags. We had name badges. We had folks that were greeters and just helping other people here make themselves feel welcome. Because I know, with my very first FDRS conference, I didn't know a soul. I had just found out about lipedema a few weeks prior, and I was like, oh, there's a conference, I'm gonna go. And so I went, and I made many friends that I'm actually very excited. There are a few of them are here, because this was Washington, D.C. This is where I met Polly, and it's where I met Sarah, and it's where I met Patty, and it's where I met Susie, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some, Felicity, oh my goodness. And so many others. So we know what it's like to be a first-timer, and we want to make sure that we're trying very hard to make everyone feel very welcome, and we hope that everyone had an amazing time this weekend, and we hope that you also were able to make some great connections. Want to thank the fashion show participants. Our speakers. I do want to make sure that everyone here knows that our speakers are not compensated to be here. Our speakers pay for their own travel, they pay for their own hotel room. Many of them go ahead and pay for their own registration. We do waive registration for speakers as a way to attract more speakers here, but we do ask them if they have an education budget too, if they would go ahead and purchase their ticket to help us keep costs down for the conference. So our speakers are here because they are committed to this to this organization and to this community. So a huge round of applause to our speakers. We couldn't put on a conference like this and a conference of this caliber without our sponsors. Our sponsors are what is able for us to be able to offer registration rates for patients that are as low as they are. Now, I know that they're not low by any stretch of the imagination, but in terms of cost and cost of putting on a conference, they're incredibly low, and that is only due to the generosity of our sponsors, and especially this year. This year, even last year, our costs had increased a little bit from prior years. This year, our costs were astronomically high. And so we were able to continue to put on this conference at the same rate that we did the prior year, and able to allow us to do that for patients. And so for that, we want to again just thank our sponsors, and please be sure you thank them as well. Hope everyone had an opportunity to visit all the exhibitors as well. Their generosity absolutely helps us to underwrite the cost of the conference. I want to give a giant shout out to our AV team. Because if anyone has ever done this, you'll know that there's always lots of things that can go wrong, and things do go wrong, but this team really handled everything like champs. It was really cool for me to sit there. They listened to part of our presentations, not to put them on the spot. And so it's just really cool for people who have no other connection to our community. They're like, oh. And so it was just really great to work with them, and they're the reason we were able to put the videos up right away. So mad props to you guys. We want to give we might not recognize her in her photo, but the lady behind the camera, Cindy. I told her on a Friday night, I was like, I felt like the paparazzi was following us around. It was so amazing. And she's taken amazing photos, and she's already given us back a whole bunch of them, and that's what was looping during the break last time. So we'll be getting those out to everyone very soon. So thank you, Cindy. We appreciate it. I couldn't do this without these ladies right here. So thank you to the board. Which is a reminder, we never got a group shot this year. And that's on us. We're all running around crazy doing different things for the conference, and just want to thank them. I also want to thank one of our helpers this year, Brittany, who's in the back, for helping us out. She might be my sister. And so I'm just very happy that she's been here and been very helpful for us. YouTube, be sure that if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please be sure to go out there. We will be publishing let me just kind of pause for just a second. The videos that are on the replay are only accessible to registered attendees. So just for the folks here that are on site, and also for the folks who attended virtually. We will publish them to our YouTube channel publicly, but that'll be post-conference production. So you guys get access first, you get sneak peek first access, and then we'll publish them out to our YouTube channel. So, but be sure that is everyone subscribed to our YouTube channel, just by the way? How many of you the first time attendees, have you watched the previous conferences on our YouTube channel? Fantastic. How many of you share the videos from the YouTube channel? Awesome. How many of you share certain videos with your healthcare professional team? Fantastic. So especially yesterday's videos, and especially the ones on research or diagnosis or treatment, those are absolutely ones that we would suggest, if you feel comfortable, sharing with your healthcare provider team, just to let them know about the condition and how they can learn more about lipedema, DIRCMs. And hopefully next year we'll be able to have some more conversations about MAD lungs and FML, because our conditions are interrelated and the treatment for them are very similar. So So we want to be sure that we are being able to get the word out and be able to attract more medical professionals. How many of you invited your medical professional team to attend an FDRS conference? Fantastic. Do you know that we had I love when I'm looking at the attendee list, and especially under the physician list, I'm like, I don't know that physician's name, and they're attending virtually. I'm like, yes, that is what this is all about. We want awareness for patients, and we want awareness for the medical professional community. So continue to spread the word. I don't think he's in here for me to put him on the spot, but Dr. Haggerty, who spoke yesterday, he attended his first conference, I believe, 2 years ago, and and I don't recall how he got the connection, but he came, and then he decided that, yes, this is what I want to do, and then this year he's a speaker. So that is all because of this community sharing far and wide, and we also challenge you, the therapists and the physicians, please tell your friends. We want them to come and learn about the conference. And even if they don't come in person, that's why we have the virtual offering, and continue to do our hybrid conferences in the future. And speaking of professionals, for those of you who are professionals attending, and when I say professionals, the therapists, PAs, physicians, you would have received an email. Check your junk folders. Sometimes they do go to junk, but you've got the instructions on how to claim CME credit for the conference for this weekend. So that is another big feat of that we have I really need some more water. We are able to offer CME credit for professionals to attend our conference. So that is another, also helps to, if I dare say, it helps to legitimize our conference. And those are the things that we need in terms of advocacy for lots of different things, but for advocacy purposes. All right, I told you yesterday we have a big announcement. Hey, Everett, not to put you on the spot, but do you have a drum roll? I just thought about that. I was like, wait a second. Hey, I love it. I love it. So we told you yesterday we had a big announcement. Do you know in all the years that we've been putting on the conference that we've never been able to announce next year's conference yet? That's what we're about to announce. There's a reason. There's a Southwest plane up here. Woo! We're going to St. Louis. Mark your calendars. April 19th through 21st. It does not coincide with any religious holidays. It does not coincide with any other professional meetings or adjacent and I say professional meetings of the folks who attend our conferences. So it's not the weekend before, it's not the weekend after. We are on the free and clear. So we signed the contract today. Awesome. The reason, and I'm going to go back, that I have a picture of a Southwest flight. We've shared with you at the conference last year. We've shared with you guys on the Facebook post, but I think and maybe for people who've not heard this before, but what goes into planning this conference? We have a lot of considerations we have to make. One giant consideration that we make is how are our attendees going to get to the conference? So we want places that are accessible. And as we know, Southwest is the only airline that has a person of size policy, so that you can buy 2 seats and then be refunded for that second seat. So we will only ever host conferences in cities that Southwest flies to. There's some other mechanics. We also want to be able to offer you, we had a $129 room rate. Oh, by the way, next year's $129 as well. For those of you who attend conferences, do you ever go to another conference where the room rate is $129? No, it's like $229. So it is very important for us to keep the cost affordable for our patient attendees to come. Now, with that being said, that limits us. That limits us into the cities that we can go to, the hotels that we can go to. Now, the other thing too is that we don't do, and I apologize, there was no coffee at the break, but that was by design. Because do you know how much hotels charge us for coffee? A lot, a lot. So one of the things is we need a lot of space because one, we spread out. Two, we have a number of attendees here, but we don't spend a lot in terms of hotel money. We don't spend a lot of money. So we're not attractive to many hotels. So that limits our scope. So we have to go to different, so the reason we go to places like St. Louis, and we've been in Cleveland. Atlanta was a little bit of an anomaly, but it's not really a conference-known center. We will never have a conference in Las Vegas. We'll never have a conference in Chicago because it will always be out of our budget. So lots of considerations, lots of things that go on. We also want to make sure we work really hard with the hotels to ensure that they're serving nutritious meals and that they are able to accommodate many of our requests. And we also want to make sure that they understand what our needs are in terms of, even just from the layout of the room. We want to make sure we got some, we got some room for some of us that have our big booties to get through. So we want to be able to be comfortable. We want all of you to be comfortable. And those are all the things that go into planning a conference. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of that behind the scenes of what goes on so that the more that you know, right? We are looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer with FDRS, please send us an email to info@fatdisorders.org. Please know we're probably going to take a couple weeks off. Thank you. Self-care, which I have not been practicing, as it has been very evident. But yes, we're looking for volunteers throughout the year at the conferences. And so if you're interested, please email us at info@fatdisorders.org. And with that, make sure I don't go too far. I think one of the biggest things, and especially on Sunday, is this sense of community. And if you haven't found your community or found your, the kind of the expression is find your tribe, we hope we've provided you the opportunities to meet other incredible people and meet other people who are in the same exact position as you. I had the honor of, and I might get a little emotional. I have not been an incredibly emotional person, but this FDRS conference brings it out of me every year. But I dropped into the Durkheim's group while they were meeting, and just hearing the raw emotion from people who are here, it just really tells us that we're doing something right. We need more people here because you guys are the number of people who are who are able to come here is such a small fraction of the people that we know are also suffering in silence. So I would like for us all to do what we can to reach the people that we haven't reached yet. Find your tribe, find your people, and embrace who you are and everything about yourselves. And thank you all. Thank you.